now, the Department of Homeland Security, it's still shut down. Republicans and Democrats can't come to an agreement about how to fund the agency. Democrats want reforms to immigrations and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE. And Republicans say some of the requests are non-negotiable. So how do we filter out all of this information? What's happening? I want to bring in Scripps News Group senior congressional correspondent Nathaniel Reed. Nate, good morning to you. Where does this ping pong match stand this morning? Are there any possible deals in the works?
Look, Aaron, I'm glad you called it that, because that's pretty much exactly what it is. It is a ping pong match. Democrats on Capitol Hill, the White House, just going back and forth, calling each other unserious over the course of this week. And a reminder, Congress was out of session this week. They reserved the right to call their members back to D.C. if there was a deal to be had. Ultimately, it's Friday. They're expected to return to Washington this coming Monday, and there was no deal to speak of on Capitol Hill to reopen the shuttered portions of the federal government, which obviously includes, a lot of things critical for Norfolk and Virginia Beach. The Coast Guard, TSA, FEMA, those are all agencies that have partially shut down as a result of this ongoing government funding lapse. Now, that rhetorical war of words that I just spoke of just heated up over the course of this week. Democrats on Capitol Hill calling President Trump unserious and the Trump administration's offers. The White House saying that President Trump isn't even directly involved in these negotiations. He's not directly negotiating with Democrats, leading to the question, just how likely is it that this shutdown comes to an end anytime soon? Take a listen.
These Republicans are not serious about doing the types of things necessary to rein ICE in.
He hasn't had any direct conversation or correspondence with Democrat lawmakers recently. It doesn't mean he's not willing to. I'm just not aware of any conversations that have taken place.
And look, this all heats up later next week when we have the State of the Union address on Tuesday. There's a very, very good chance, in fact, it looks more than likely at this point, that State of the Union address is going to be occurring during a partial government shutdown. Already a number of Democrats saying that they're either not attending or counter-programming, holding their own events, televised or streamed events during that speech. A lot of questions about whether President Trump uses that platform, standing up in front of members of the House of Representatives and the Senate on Capitol Hill to bash Democrats for not reaching agreement here. Again, Democrats have said they're looking for common sense reforms to ICE. Republicans calling some of those demands radical.
And Nate, regarding the speech next week, we know Governor Spanberger is going to be giving the Democratic response to the president's speech. So there is a lot that folks in Virginia are looking forward to hearing next week. So thank you for your perspective and your time.